Are you wanting high-speed internet but don't have access to PUD fiber? Try Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet from LocalTel. Call 888-8888 today. It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And once again today, like we've experienced, it seems like the past month now, haze and smoke out there. As we take a look down at the Columbia River in Wenatchee, you can just see George Seller Bridge and the footbridge down at the bottom of the screen, and haze and smoke will be around for at least tonight, but we also have an elevated fire danger around most of north central Washington, especially over in Grant County where there is a red flag warning in place until 9 o'clock tonight. Winds will pick up. We're probably seeing a little bit of that right now, and especially tonight, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, especially around the Okanagan Valley and the Columbia Basin. Our strongest winds will be tonight, where we could see gusts of around 30 miles an hour. That's from the Waterville Plateau. Also, the Wenatchee River Valley will also see some pretty strong winds tonight. The good news with these winds as we move into our Thursday forecast, it should scour out most of this smoke. We'll see cooler temperatures as a cold front moves through, a little bit higher humidity, and that will ease our wildfire concerns over the next 24 to 36 hours. Keep in mind, though, we could see gusts tomorrow between 20 and 30 miles an hour. More coming up in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An update on air quality in the region. The Jolly Mountain fire swells to more than 5,000 acres, and a vehicle fire closed down Interstate 82 yesterday. Later on, we'll have sports, your weather forecast, and our feature story today. But first, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett reports that a kayaking incident on the Wenatchee River near Plain claimed the life of a 61-year-old man Tuesday afternoon. The initial 911 call to Rivercom Dispatch was made at 1:23 p.m. from a witness on the east bank of the river who had noticed an empty kayak floating in the middle of the river with a male subject in the water behind it. The subject in the water was described as wearing shorts with no personal flotation vest. Personnel from Chelan County Fire District No. 9, Cascade EMS, and the Sheriff's Office responded. Later, a member of the Swiftwater Rescue Response Team, using a float board, observed the missing male under about 5 feet of water. The subject was removed from the river but was declared dead after failed attempts to revive him with CPR. The name of the victim is being withheld at this time as the Sheriff's Office and Chelan County Coroner attempt to locate next of kin out of state. An interesting image from space from Tuesday afternoon of the inland northwest, wildfire smoke and thunderstorm clouds. The top two smoke plumes you see originating in the East Cascades in Washington are the Diamond Creek Fire, that's the northernmost, and Norse Peak. The other large plume at the bottom is originating from fires in the Willamette National Forest in Oregon. The smoke and haze is expected to dissipate later today, and we will talk more about that once again later on in your weather forecast. Helicopters dropped nearly 55,000 gallons of water on the Jolly Mountain fire, and scooper planes dropped an additional 30,000 gallons of water on the blaze recently. The fire has scorched over 5,000 acres of forest land about 11 miles northwest of Cle Elum. Much of the growth on the fire yesterday occurred on the western edge and on the spot fires in the southeast corner. All Forest Service lands in the upper Cle Elum Valley are closed, including all roads, trails, and campgrounds north of the Last Resort restaurant that's located on State Route 903. The Washington Department of Natural Resources has closed lands north of the West Fork and west of the North Fork of the Teanaway River. A single vehicle pickup fire on I-82 yesterday ended up torching 4 vehicles he was hauling and closing down the highway for an hour. Washington State Patrol reports a 2004 Dodge Ram pickup was traveling west on I-82, 17 miles east of Ellensburg, a little after noon Tuesday when the truck started on fire. The driver, 34-year-old Paul Winkfield of Deer Park, then pulled over to the shoulder of the road when 4 vehicles he was carrying also caught on fire. The vehicle fires closed one lane of I-82 for 3 hours before the burned vehicles were removed. No drugs or alcohol were involved in the incident, and the State Patrol says the cause of the fire was defective equipment. Coming up, controversy continues to swirl around the name Robert E. Lee Elementary, and the Wenatchee School District teams up with the community partner on a grant to help homeless students. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
No matter what your age or ailment, when you wake up each day with a sense of purpose, life has meaning and joy.
Just wait a while, it'll get in the hole somewhere.
Helping you do this is our purpose. Highgate Senior Living, each day to the fullest.
The best thing about my life right now is
me.
I gotta tell you, I'm nervous.
Selling your home, it's a big step.
Can we find the right buyer in this market?
Look at our website. When someone looks at your home, I can tell how ready they are to buy. See that number? The closer it is to 100, the closer they are to buying. So, I know who to zero in on.
So you have a secret weapon.
You mean, we have a secret weapon.
I like that. Oh, what do you think of the wallpaper?
I love that touch.
For a limited time, purchase any super clean pre-owned vehicle in stock at Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore and get your choice of a free family 4-pack season pass to Slidewaters Lake Chelan Water Park or the Wenatchee Super Oval. Choose from over 100 4x4s and all-wheel drive cars and trucks. 50 vehicles priced under 10 grand. And drive away with no money down, no payments for 90 days, and financing from 1.79%. And everybody knows we service what we sell at the Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore. Leonard Evans, where the name means a great deal.
Welcome back. Chelan County Commissioners say they are prepared for the likelihood of a legal challenge to newly adopted zoning regulations for marijuana farms and processors. The ordinance becomes law 60 days after the August 28th board action. But Commissioner Kevin Overbay says the industry is still operating under a ban until the law takes effect.
I think the big thing that people need to realize is there was a ban in effect. And so as of March 1st, 2018, there would be no processing or producing of marijuana in Chelan County. That ban would go into effect at that point. You know, the last 2 years have been given the opportunity for those that were already in production prior to September 2015 to go ahead and try to amortize back some of their investment. What we did by providing these codes for marijuana production and processing is actually give an opportunity for that to occur in Chelan County. And I think that a lot of folks don't realize that as of March 1st, 2018, there would be no processing or producing. What these codes do is this actually allows it to be done, but allows it to be done in areas that doesn't have adverse impacts to surrounding neighborhoods, to residential areas, and so forth.
Commissioners also say they are confident the county will prevail in any litigation brought by the growers group and that court costs should not be an issue in terms of the budget. Two separate petitions are circulating around the Wenatchee Valley regarding a name change to Robert E. Lee Elementary in East Wenatchee. The name controversy is also swirling around the two candidates running for the Eastmont School Board, John Brangwyn and Dave People. Brangwyn has already stated that he supports changing the name of Robert E. Lee Elementary, and People recently released a statement saying the school's name is not as important as what happens inside the school. As for the petition, Monday afternoon numbers show 2,400 signatures against changing the name of Robert E. Lee Elementary to 945 for changing the school's name. Wenatchee School District is among several districts receiving more than $1.5 million in grants awarded for homeless student programs across the state. The grants supplement school districts' ability to provide in-school support, prioritizing unaccompanied youth and unsheltered students and families. The grants also will be used to fund caseworkers or homeless housing navigators in schools, as well as to provide essential needs such as transportation to get students to school after they move or assistance to avoid utilities being shut off in family homes. Wenatchee schools, in partnership with the Women's Resource Center, will receive $72,000 in Washington State. From Washington State, about one public school student in 25 is homeless in this state. You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come right here on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
Every golfer aims to play their best, and smart golfers turn to the Golfer's Edge to get the Golfer's Edge. PGA professional Ed Payne has you covered from tee to green. You can work on your swing or play 18 in air-conditioned comfort on the golf simulator. Tanya's Corner has all the apparel the golfer needs at sale prices. And Ed can even rebuild your favorite set of clubs or custom make you a brand new set. Ask how you can qualify for a free 30-minute lesson at the Golfer's Edge on Mission between Kittitas and Yakima.
At Doghouse Motorsports, we ride what we sell. There's a lot we could say about the CD Spark and the CD GTI, but ultimately, the ride says it all.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
Hey there, I'm Jay Seebeck filling in for Eric Granstrom tonight on your NCW Life News Sports Update. Today we're going to start with the Seattle Mariners.
Seattle wrapped up its 12-game road trip with an afternoon game today and needed a win to finish the long road trip at 500. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for the Mariners this afternoon at Camden Yards in Baltimore. They fell to the Orioles 8-7. Thems found themselves down 2-0 early in the ballgame, but in the third inning, a Nelson Cruz single scored 2, a Mitch Haniger double scored 2 more, and after a Mike Zunino single, Robinson Cano and Mitch Haniger scored to make it's 6-2 Seattle. The Orioles answered in the fourth with 2 runs and another in the fifth, and one more in the sixth inning to take the lead 7-6. The Mariners fought back in the eighth as Haniger homered to center to tie the game up at 7-7. But in the bottom of the eighth inning, Orioles second baseman Jonathan Shoup knocked in the game-winning run, and that's how it ended. For the Mariners, Mitch Haniger went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, while both Nelson Cruz and Mike Zunino went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs each. Meanwhile, what a day for the Orioles catcher, Wellington Castillo, who went 4 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Today's loss drops the Mariners into 4th in the American League West, and Seattle is now 3.5 games back of Minnesota for the second wildcard spot, after the Twins beat Chicago 6-4 last night. Thursday night, we have Wild Hockey. Watch the Wild take on Chilliwack at 7 p.m. Friday Night Lights, you can watch the Wenatchee High School Panthers take on Southridge live here on the NCW Life channel at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, Grant Olson and myself will be at Eastmont as they take on the returning state champions, Kamiakin, and that game will be played back at a later date. Saturday, live again at the Apple Bowl, Central Valley comes to town to take on Wenatchee Girls High School soccer team, and then later Saturday night, a replay from 2016's Battle of the Bridges football game, Eastmont versus Wenatchee at 7 p.m. Saturdays might be for the boys, but at the NCW Life channel, Sundays are for hockey. Starting at noon, you can watch the Wild take on Merritt. Following that game, Wild versus Penticton at 2 p.m., and then Wild versus Chilliwack at 5 p.m. Finally, at 7, the Wild take on Vernon. Moving on to the NFL and our Seahawks, tomorrow night we have our final preseason game in Oakland against the Raiders. This will be the final opportunity to see those guys who are on the 90-man roster. Cuts will be made Saturday down to the 53-man roster. Pete Carroll feels like this is a special year for the Seahawks in depth, so even though some of these guys won't make it on the 53-man roster, don't be surprised to see them end up in other places around the league.
Well, one thing to keep in mind for this Friday night is with all this smoke in the air, maybe our high school boys, they're going to be able to get a little bit of an advantage with the teams coming into town. I'm Jay Seebeck with your NCW Life Sports Update. Back to you, Grant.
Thank you, Jay. The first day of school always presents challenges for both students and teachers, especially those starting school for the very first time. 2 kindergarten teachers, Angie Velasquez of Kenroy Elementary and Lisa Snyder of Lee Elementary, dropped by Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan Kuntz.
What's the first day of school like as a kindergarten teacher? What's it like? Is it
organized chaos?
I mean, the kids are there. This is a whole new thing for the kids. The kids are probably halfway freaked out. You know, this is the first
Some
day.
cry.
This is not the first day of school. This is the first day of school. This is a
Yeah.
whole nother first day of school. I mean, is it kids crying?
Some cry.
Yeah.
Parents linger longer than other parents, and I mean, we have an hour, and then we automatically go for a rules rodeo where we go around the school and learn about the different places in the school and the rules for that particular place in school. So I mean, and it's like every 15 minutes we are changing activities, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. You just have to really be thinking on your toes and be ready to switch in a second with them because their attention spans are not like older students.
Both teachers had a message for parents of students entering kindergarten.
We love them like they're our own, and they are safe in our classroom, and we will, the first day of school, we will exit virtually unscathed.
Same message?
Same message, and I also tell parents it's all about the communication between parents and teachers too, because we care about them as much as they do, and if they have ideas or concerns that need to be addressed, that's very important to us because we're a team.
And for kindergarten students who began their formal schooling this week, we here at the NCW Life Channel congratulate the class of 2030. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Romaine Electric in Wenatchee will diagnose, repair, or replace your electric brake, trailer plug, or vehicle lighting. Is your starter or alternator in need of repair? Romaine is the Wenatchee Valley specialists. Their technicians will have you up and running. The diagnostics team at Romaine Electric identifies and repairs all electric issues from farm, truck, marine, industrial, diesel, ATV, and PWC. Romaine Electric in the Industrial Park off Ferry Street and Wenatchee Avenue. Stop on by or give them a call today, 663-8150.
And now a recap of some of our top stories. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett reports that a kayaking incident on the Wenatchee River near Plain claimed the life of a 61-year-old man Tuesday afternoon. The initial 911 call to Rivercom dispatch was made at 1:23 p.m. from a witness on the east bank of the river who had noticed an empty kayak floating in the middle of the river with a male subject in the water behind it. The subject in the water was described as wearing shorts with no personal flotation vest. Personnel from Chelan County Fire District Number 9, Cascade EMS, and the Sheriff's Office responded. Later, a member of the Swiftwater Rescue Response Team, using a float board, observed the missing male under about 5 feet of water. The subject was removed from the river but was declared dead after failed attempts to revive him with CPR. The name of the victim is being withheld at this time as the Sheriff's Office and Chelan County Coroner attempt to locate next of kin out of state. Chelan County Commissioners say they're prepared for the likelihood of a legal challenge to newly adopted zoning regulations for marijuana farms and processors. The ordinance becomes law 60 days after the August 28th board action. But Commissioner Kevin Overbay says the industry is still operating under a ban until the law takes effect.
I think the big thing that people need to realize is there was a ban in effect. And so as of March 1st, 2018, there would be no processing or producing of marijuana in Chelan County. That ban would go into effect at that point. You know, the last 2 years have been given the opportunity for those that were already in production prior to September 2015 to go ahead and try to amortize back some of their investment. What we did by providing these codes for marijuana production and processing is actually give an opportunity for that to occur in Chelan County. And I think that a lot of folks don't realize that as of March 1st, 2018, there would be no processing or producing. What these codes do is this actually allows it to be done, but allows it to be done in areas that doesn't have adverse impacts to surrounding neighborhoods, to residential areas, and so forth.
Commissioners also say they're confident the county will prevail in any litigation brought by the growers group and that court costs should not be an issue in terms of the budget. A single vehicle pickup fire on Interstate 82 yesterday ended up torching 4 vehicles he was hauling and closing down the highway for an hour. Washington State Patrol reports a 2004 Dodge Ram pickup was traveling west on I-82, 17 miles east of Ellensburg, a little after noon Tuesday when the truck started on fire. The driver, 34-year-old Paul Winkfield of Deer Park, then pulled over to the shoulder of the road when 4 vehicles he was carrying also caught on fire. The vehicle fires closed one lane of I-82 for 3 hours before the burned vehicles were removed. No drugs or alcohol were involved in the incident, and the State Patrol says the cause of the fire was defective equipment. And now your weather forecast for north central Washington. Before we get to that, let's take another look outside our weather window at another hazy, smoky day here in the Wenatchee Valley. Yeah, George Seller Bridge is down there somewhere. We can see the Columbia River, but air quality alert remains in effect until early evening tonight. And then some changes are coming in the way of a cold front that's moving through. We are seeing a trough of low pressure and associated cold front passing through pretty much our area as we speak. We take a look at our satellite picture, you can see a line of clouds moving through the state right there in western Washington, now moving into the central part of the state. It will remain breezy through the evening as that cold front makes its way through, and especially into our overnight hours. The switch to westerly wind should bring some improvement to smoke as we cut off contribution from Oregon fires. However, active burning fires in the Cascades will not eliminate smoke in the region completely, so keep that in mind over the next couple of days. Afternoon highs today will be cooler than yesterday, but will remain above normal with upper 80s to around 90 common. Wind speeds of 10 to 15 miles an hour are expected tonight, with gusts to about 20 miles an hour. Stronger winds will channel down the Wenatchee River Valley and onto the Waterville Plateau as well. Friday marks the beginning of another warming trend, with temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s as high pressure once again builds into the region. High pressure persists over our area into Sunday, with the warmest temperatures well into the 90s and near 100, especially near the Washington-Oregon border. Much above average temperatures are expected for the Labor Day weekend and into early next week. Here's a look at that forecast now. We will see some haze once again tonight, with lows dropping down to about 64 degrees. And there's that cool down on Thursday. Keep in mind windy conditions as well for most of Thursday. 88 our high temperature. As we move into the end of the week on Friday, that begins our heat wave once again. 93 for Friday, 97 Saturday. And look at Sunday as we end our weekend. Sunshine with a high temperature of 99. Could that be our first day of 100-degree temperatures here in the Wenatchee Valley? We haven't officially hit 100 yet this summer. And then a bit of a cool down as we get back into our work week next week, Monday and Tuesday. High temperatures at first at 95, dropping down to about 93 on Tuesday. Well, some call this the challenge, the toughest 2 minutes in sports, but it looks like young Lucas has it handled. Check out this fire fit event out of Oshawa, Ontario last week.
Go, get the hose. It's so heavy. Go, go, go. Here. Okay, let's go to the box, run. Run to the box, let's go.
You got it, buddy, you got it.
Buddy.
Good job, buddy, go, go, go.
Throw it in the box. Okay, good. Now hit the thing. Go hit it. Keep going. Oh yeah, go, go, go. Start walking backwards now. There you go. Hit. Come on, walk backwards. Go, go, go. 10, 9, 8. Go, hit hard. Good. Okay, put the hammer on the carpet. Now run around. Follow the tape. There you go. Yep. Go. In the box. Hey, grab the bear. This way. Ready? Pick him up. Grab him and go.
Come on, Lucas.
Keep going, bud. Keep going.
Come on, buddy.
Keep going. We'll tell you when.
You got him.
Let's go. Go. Faster. Come on.
Come on, Lucas.
Almost there, buddy. Keep going. Good job, buddy. Keep going. You're almost there, buddy. Keep going.
Come on, Lucas.
Ready?
Hey!
one lucky bear. If you have a video of the day you'd like to see on NCW Life News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Reed's Marine in Manson has your boating needs covered, offering the superior Regal lineup with options from 19 to 53 feet. With the Regal Express line, you have the freedom to explore with an innovative interior and the largest headroom in its class. Don't forget the roomy cockpit with seating to fit the whole family. From 26 to 32 feet, Reed's Marine has the Regal Express to fit your needs. View our current inventory at ChelanBoat.com or stop by our Manson showroom on beautiful Lake Chelan and see the entire Regal line.
Wenatchee Valley College is now offering 4-year degrees. The need for engineering technologists is rapidly growing, and the new Bachelor of Applied Science in Engineering Technology is designed to meet the needs of local employers. Students with an associate degree can complete the program in only 2 or 3 years. Don't wait! The program is accepting just 20 students for fall quarter. Apply now at wvc.edu/engineeringtech.